The Yautja, better known as the predator or hunter, is an extraterrestrial species characterized by hunting other dangerous species for sport and honor, including humans. The Yautja are an intelligent humanoid race that breathes an atmosphere similar to Earth's, but possesses a level of technological advancement far superior to anything available to humans. Predators stalk and kill their prey using a combination of highly advanced technology, such as active camouflage and energy weapons, combined with comparatively primitive traditional weapons like swords, spears, and nets. Predators often ritually mutilate their prey and generally claim a trophy for their kills. Capable of interstellar travel, predators have hunted on Earth for centuries and have also had previous contact with the engineers. The Yautja have a code of honor that expects all members of their species to adhere to at the risk of not being seen as true Yautja and therefore being subject to exclusion from their society. Because of this, most Yautja are shaped around this code, being ruthless but honorable, with the exception of the Yautja known as bad bloods. Aggression and arrogance seem to be innate in the hunters, especially in the young ones. Predators are bipedal humanoids, physically distinguishable from humans by their greater height, long dreadlock-like appendages on their heads, reptilian skin, and faces that feature mandibles similar to arthropods and no visible nose. The biological purpose of the distinctive mandibles is unclear. Some have proposed that they may be used in reproduction or mating rituals. They may also be a vestige of anatomy, as noted by Lex Woods, who compares them to the human appendix. In this case, the Yautja use them to convey emotions. For example, flared mandibles apparently signify anger or surprise. Clicking mandibles can mean interest or curiosity, and it has even been said that a Yautja smiles with them. It is also known that predators use their mandibles as weapons, using them to inflict severe bites on their opponents. Besides the fleshy dreadlocks around the sides of their heads, some predators have also been seen to have sparse spines on their cheeks and above their eyes. Although generally uniform, the physical appearance of each Yautja includes a series of subtle variations, similar to human genetic diversity. Similarly, although the heights of predators vary, they generally measure more than 6.56 feet tall, although some are known to grow up to 8.2 feet or even more. Despite this, shorter individuals have been recorded, such as Mande or the aptly named Shorty, who had the height of a typical human. These individuals are unusual, and their shorter stature is a subject of mockery in Yautja society. The skin of the species, similar to a reptile, can vary in color from light to dark, be mottled or clear, and may appear dry or moist and sticky. The Yautja are very resistant to physical damage, capable of recovering from multiple bullet wounds with minimal or even no medical attention and surviving doses of radiation that would be fatal to humans. They are also highly resistant to most bacteria and viruses. They are incredibly strong, easily able to overpower a conditioned adult human male in unarmed combat, and capable of delivering blows that can break solid concrete. They can rip the head and spine from a human body with little effort, while some larger specimens have even been seen tearing a human body in half using only their bare hands. Evidently, this strength also extends to the lower part of their body, as predators have been seen jumping up to 3 times their own height and are capable of falling up to 10 times their height and landing safely on their feet. They are skilled climbers and, in fact, seem to prefer moving at height through trees or across rooftops in search of prey, generally jumping from one vantage point to another. Although they can survive exposure to Antarctic temperatures for a prolonged period of time, it seems that predators prefer warm equatorial climates. According to Isabella Borgia, the Yautja possess superior genetic material compared to humans that, if used correctly, could enhance humanity as a species. Hunter Borgia, Isabella's son, was one of those projects carried out in this regard, although the genetic experimentation was not completed before Hunter was killed by a Yautja known as Scarface. However, the Yautja genes are evidently potent enough that when one is impregnated by a xenomorph, the resulting creature adopts more pronounced physical characteristics of its host than would be expected, such as dreadlocks and mandibles, leading to the distinctive Predalien cast. Their blood is phosphorescent green and has the ability to partially neutralize the acidity of xenomorph blood. It is also known to confer significant life-extending properties to humans, capable of extending a person's lifespan far beyond what is normally possible. It is believed that the Yautja may be cold-blooded, hence their documented affinity for warm and humid conditions and the thermal net incorporated into their suits. The vision of predators primarily operates in the infrared portion of the electromagnetic spectrum. They can easily detect heat differences in their surroundings, but cannot easily distinguish between objects of the same relative temperature. A predator's biohelmet greatly enhances its ability to see in a variety of spectra, ranging from low infrared to high ultraviolet, and also filters out ambient heat from the area, allowing it to distinguish prey more clearly and in greater detail. While they are apparently capable of breathing Earth's atmosphere, it is known that they use some type of breathing apparatus in case they lose their biohelmet. The feeding habits of predators are not clearly established, although it was known that the city hunter stalking Los Angeles visited a slaughterhouse in the city every 2 days to feed on the stored meat there, suggesting a carnivorous or perhaps omnivorous diet. In one specific case, due to contamination caused by the black mutagen, a mutated predator was driven to cannibalize one of the last surviving members of its own hunting squad. While the maximum or typical lifespan of a predator is unknown, it is accepted that it far exceeds the normal human lifespan, and it has been suggested that elder predators can live for hundreds to thousands of years. It is said that one predator, called Yautja, is thousands of years old. He comments that human life rushes as if anxious to its end, compared to the life of a Yautja. The predators have their own language, both spoken and written, the former resembling a series of clicks, roars, growls, and screeches. They also have dialects that deviate enough from the common Yautja language that translators cannot understand them. The written language is expressed in a pattern of dashes not different in form and function from many terrestrial languages. These written symbols appear on the gauntlet displays, helmets, architecture, and many other surfaces of the creatures. Predators regularly mimic human speech they hear. It is unclear to what extent the Yautja can understand it, although the creatures seem to have some understanding of the language, as they are known to repeat phrases at vaguely appropriate moments as a form of communication with prey. Occasionally, older predators with more experience among humans are known to learn to speak English, at least to some extent. It is also known that humans and Yautja can communicate successfully through sign language. There is evidence that the Yautja understand the concept of humor. For example, during the events on Bouvet Island, the predator Scar deliberately caused a deceased xenomorph to fire its inner jaw and scare Lex, and her surprise and fear apparently amused Scar. According to Machiko Noguchi, laughter is universal, even in their species, and the predator equivalent of a laugh is the rapid clicking of their fangs. Additionally, as demonstrated by the jungle and city hunters, while individual Yautja emits different sounds, a very common sound they make is a high-pitched screech, similar to a human, mainly while using their medikits to heal their wounds. When given a compliment by a superior authority, Yautja of a similar rank will touch this individual's hair in recognition. Yautja technology is distinctive in many aspects, notably its unusual combination of ornate tribal appearance that masks sophisticated and deadly weaponry. However, despite the obvious technological prowess of the species, including access to adaptive camouflage and plasma weaponry, traditional ancient weapons like blades, knives, and spears are still widely used, and apparently considered more honorable than advanced technology by the Yautja Society. At least one Yautja weapon uses a metal that does not correspond to any known element on the periodic table, and many devices have been shown to be completely resistant to the effects of xenomorph acidic blood, an incredibly corrosive and destructive substance. That said, however, the wrist blades and chest armor of a young blood are still made of metal that is not resistant to xenomorph blood. It appears that more advanced armor must be earned through initiation rituals that first test the individual's skill with more rudimentary and challenging equipment. Many of the tools Yautja use rely on the use of thermal imaging to track prey, while some aspects of their technology have been used for millennia. Individuals of the species often use their own customized variations of proven Yautja weapons, built with different materials and with varying degrees of tribal or symbolic ornamentation. Yautja culture centers on the ritual hunting of dangerous life forms, and this practice seems to be the foundation of their society. Predators will travel great distances, even across entire galaxies, to face opponents they consider a worthy challenge, and can also abduct and transport prey over similar distances to bring them to a hunting ground of their choice. Defeat in a hunt is apparently a cause of great shame for the Yautja, often leading the individual to commit honorable suicide, typically through the detonation of their wrist gauntlet's self-destruct device. After their death, a Yautja hunting spaceship will return to the species' homeworld on autopilot so that a record of the individual's hunt, recorded through their biohelmet, can be returned to their relatives. Yautja society appears to have a marked gender character. Even predator names tend to have masculine and feminine connotations, similar to many Romance languages like Spanish. Male names often end with E. For example, Dachande, Tichinde, Skemte, Nakande, etc. While female names tend to end with I, for example, Vaguti, Hashori. Dachande even nicknames Machiko Noguchi Datudi, which is the feminine form of that name. However, some names, such as Larnixva, Bakub, and Warka, do not fit this naming trend. This could be because the names are unisex or because different clans have different naming conventions. Yautja society operates a classification or class system nominally based on an individual's hunting experience and skill. Their titles include Unblooded. These types of predators are the unrefined future hunters. The unblooded Yautjas are young predators who have not completed basic training. They are, or are near, adulthood and are physically mature. Most of the without blood, and therefore the subsequent classes, are males, but there are female hunters, indicating a minority of them within the hunting body. Young blood. These are the young adult Yautja who have not yet been seen as adults and true hunters in the eyes of their clanmates. These hunters are refined enough to dominate a skilled human fighter. However, their ability against a xenomorph varies. Once they kill one, the Yautja marks themselves with xenomorph blood, completing their initiation into adulthood. Blooded. These Yautja have successfully killed their first xenomorph, and because it is such a broad title, the skills vary. Once a Yautja is blooded, females will start paying attention to him, and his rank could branch out into more specific ones. Elite. The elites encompass the most dangerous of the Yautja race. They have the ability to face multiple xenomorphs at once, including large and dangerous castes such as Praetorians, Predalians, and even Queens. Elites seem to take on some of the most nuanced, prolonged, and exhausting problems and missions of the Yautja world. These can be assigned, as in the case of Dark, or voluntary, as Wolf did. Leader. A leader is a Yautja who has been selected or volunteers to lead and teach. Elder. The oldest and wisest member of the Yautja race. Many of them are clan leaders. So far, 2 elders have been seen on screen, and both have given non-predatory species tokens of a good hunt. Ancient. The ancients are very old Yautja, some of whom are responsible for creating the laws by which the species is governed. To this end, they use enforcers to put an end to crime, both within and outside the species. Matriarch. A matriarch is the female counterpart of a clan leader. While clan leaders govern matters off-world, matriarchs govern and direct on Yautja Prime and presumably any other world they inhabit. They are among the highest titles of the species. Hey, don't go just yet. If you enjoyed my video, I'd love to recommend another one for you to watch.